This is Economy Watch, what you need to know about New Zealand's economic life today. Brought to you by interest.co.nz.
Kia ora, and welcome to Tuesday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect New Zealand. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz. And today we lead with news that is second tier, ahead of a string of key data releases. But there are some interesting bits today all the same. First, in the US, a national New York Fed survey of consumer expectations in July showed medium-term inflation expectations are falling. The three-year ahead inflation expectation fell by 0.6 of a percentage point to 2.3%, hitting a new series low since the survey's inception in June 2013. Medium 1 and 5-year ahead inflation expectations were unchanged at 3% and 2.8%. The labour market expectations were essentially unchanged too, with consumers not expecting any significant rise in unemployment. The USDA's August World Agricultural Supply and Demand estimates revealed that they will have record output and yields for both soybean and corn this season, although wheat production there will be down marginally. But they expect world wheat production to be up. Climate stress is not reflected in this global assessment of food production yet anyway, even if global rice production is seen easing, but only by 0.1%. Lower Vietnam production is the reason. And US beef production will be lower, they say, made up by imports. US milk production is easing off slightly too, but they still expect to be active in the butter and cheese export markets, and they think those will rise. In Canada, building consents were expected to rise more than 5% in June from May after a sharpish 12.9% fall in May from April. But that did not happen. In fact, the June fall was down almost 17% from a year ago. It is a rather grim set of data for this sector in Canada. In China, and although never far from the surface of Beijing's concerns, demographic forces have moved them to act on the long-awaited rising of their retirement age. The average life expectancy is now 78 years in China, but local males can claim their pension at 60. For women it depends on their last job, but it is as low as 55 years for them. Fast-shifting demographics mean the working-age population is down to 68% of their total population and falling. 10 years ago it was near 75%. Details are awaited of the pension change, but they may implement a 3 or 4 month per year rise in their retirement age, which would be quite a fast change. And although they're not reported locally, it appears strikes and labour unrest is on the rise in China. Raising the retirement age when there are growing labour stresses isn't going to help sentiment there. And Indian consumer inflation fell rather sharply in July, and by a bit more than expected. It came in at 3.5%, down from 5.1% in June. A year ago it was running at 11.5%. This latest level is now below their central bank's midpoint in its target range of 4%, the first time that's undershot in almost 5 years. The reason for the fall is essentially because of food prices, and the reason food prices fell to 5.5% from 9.4% in June is essentially because of year-ago base effects. So this easing of inflation will probably not last. Meanwhile, the Indian industrial production expansion eased off rather sharply in the June data released overnight. It was up 4.2% from a year ago, sharply lower than May's 5.9% rise. 4.2% is still exceptional, but clearly the rapid expansion is reverting to a more sustainable pace. Pharmaceutical product growth actually shrank there. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 3.91% and down 3 basis points from yesterday. And the price of gold will start today up $38 from yesterday at $2,468 an ounce, which is closing in on its record high. And oil prices are $2 firmer at just over $78 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is now just on $81.50 a barrel. We should keep an eye on the Straits of Hormuz. Iran seems to have seized a Malaysian ship travelling through there in what could be a potential flashpoint. And the Kiwi dollar starts today up 20 basis points from this time yesterday at just on 60.2 US cents. Against the Aussie, we're also up 20 basis points from yesterday at 91.4 Australian cents. Against the euro, up 10 basis points at 55.1 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at 68.9 and up 20 basis points. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $59,340 and down 1.6% from yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been moderate at just over plus or minus 2.5%. You can find links to the articles mentioned today in our show notes, and you can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.